Today's question in the Q&A Future Leadership Friday is, how is it possible to remain optimistic when things seem to be going worse and worse and worse? I mean, literally now there is serious talk about us having entered World War III. And we're seeing already the signs of economical chaos at the same time as we're dealing with planetary chaos, with natural catastrophes. I mean, where does this end? Then let's not even, we haven't even mentioned AI as this huge, huge challenge for humanity, where the reality of transhumanism is becoming more and more close. So it really looks dark. And how can you then remain hopeful? Well, the thing that's so fascinating, and which I believe that we will have to really, really understand now, is that things cannot be solved with the same level of thinking or at the same level of thinking that created them. And more people are taking a shift in perspective. So when you shift perspective, you can see something that you weren't able to see before. And a different perspective that is allowing the hope to thrive is to regard what's happening in the world right now as a necessary breakdown that can lead to a breakthrough. Now, that sounds very, very simple, and it is also an oversimplification, because this process requires dedicated effort. The leaders of the future are not going to be the ones who are good at backstacking each other, good at remaining mental and logical, good at taking decisions based on data that is already old or manipulated before you even consider it. Those will not be the leaders of the future. And most of the leaders we have right now are still operating in that way. But the leaders of the future, the leaders who will thrive in the future, the leaders who will lead us into a bright future, are the ones who are able to stay calm, cool, and connected in crisis, and shift perspective, have access to other perspectives, to, you could say, our true nature, to light in the form of truth, who can see beyond the illusions, who can see beyond the news, who can see beyond what looks like chaos and see a different reality, have a perspective on what is also possible at the same time. Those will be the winners of the future, because those will gather followers, natural followers, not in the sense of like, I'm the guru and then you follow me and then you believe my truth. No, but inspire more and more people to find their own truth, to find their own light perspective, to find their own hope, and thus choose naturally a different path forward. Help each other do that, not competing, collaborating about it. So this sounds super idealistic, but actually a lot of companies are already doing it and thriving and being able to be much more future agile than those who are sticking to the old because they want to see evidence before they move. Well, you're definitely not going to be a first mover. And the question is, how much suffering before we shift? This is a natural evolution. We have always evolved throughout the ages, and one paradigm is replaced by another paradigm. So this is a natural process taking place. Nothing wrong about it. Besides, the more we resist it, the longer we hold on to the old reality, the more suffering it will take to get into the new. And maybe we won't make it in time. We never know. There's no guarantees here. We are active future shapers, all of us, with the choices we make every single day. How do we tackle small and bigger crises? That is the question. That's the daily test. And so if you still insist on remaining only on the level of consciousness that you know from the past, you will miss all these opportunities that are available with a different perspective. This is what I offer in my trainings, is I help people in small and big things shift perspective. That's why I call myself a future leadership whisperer, because I've always been a visionary. I can sense where we're heading, or where we could be heading, and the pathways to get there. both in terms of our private lives, our professional lives, and our organizations, our systems. The solutions are all there. People have been practicing them for 20, 30, 50 years. I mean, some of the wisest things that are said about our future is said in the 50s, in the 20s, in the 30s. People already knew, the visionaries already knew at that time, but the mainstream people were not ready to hear it. Well, the time has come to listen louder, to listen deeper, to listen closer to these truths that have been available to humanity for a long time, but whose time had not come yet. The time is now. So if you're interested in exploring how a different perspective on the current situation you're in could look, feel free to take me up on my offer with a leadership strategy call, you could say, where you get a different perspective on the situation you're facing right now. For sure, more and more of us who choose a higher perspective, the more probable it will be that we can actually co-create that bright future that is an absolute possibility for all of us. Have a great weekend, and thanks for watching.